Um, I walked into the men's bathroom and saw the nun's cap lying upside down on the floor. It was not supposed to be there. My teenage son had been telling me for a couple of weeks that he was having difficulty peeing. No pain, but not enough pee either. We tried a couple of remedies, but mostly I took his pacing back and forth to the bathroom to be a product of his autism, a compulsive fixation. One day, it dawned on my neurodismissive consciousness that it was real and worsening. So we were at the doctor's office trying to collect a sample of the thing whose scarcity had brought us there in the first place. We'd already spent half a day trying to get a pee sample in a large kitchen bowl I placed inside our toilet at home, which involved so much frustration and failure that Nick finally yelled at me to get out of his room as I checked on him for the 100th time to make sure he had not exploded. All that pacing and waiting finally produced some liquid gold, which I put in a sterile container and carried off with my boy to the doctor's office so that they could do an analysis. When we got there, they told us the specimen had to be collected on site. He dutifully drank 2 more cups of water, a very brave act when you don't know if you can get it out again, and we started over. I requested that they give us a nun's cap to use. Exhibit A deep, round plastic bowl with wings, let's see, to hold it in place on the toilet seat. I believed it to be the perfect object to easily catch his pee without causing any invasion of privacy. And I placed it on the toilet for Nick's use. So you can see you place it on the toilet like this, and the good stuff goes in here. There you go. And I'll take any questions on the nun's cap after the story, if you have any. Okay. So I put it on the toilet and I placed it for Nick's use. Its functionality made it beautiful in my eyes and maybe in the eyes of whoever first gave it that name. That's how I found myself with my ear pressed anxiously to the door of the men's room, almost doing a jig when I heard a musical tinkle. I waited with a broad smile, ready to congratulate him. Sure enough, the tinkle stopped and he opened the door. Did you go? I asked. Yes. I picked up the nun's cap from the floor. What happened with this, Nick? Oh no, he said. It bothered me. I could not pee with it there, so I took it out and peed into the toilet. I feel good now, so don't worry, Mommy. You do not have to worry. You do too much worrying. As a dull neurotypical, I'm undersensitized to the glaring discomfort of change and the unfamiliar, to the sensory disruptions caused by strange things being where they shouldn't be. Bright plastic things that catch and reflect the fluorescent light are unacceptable. How many neon-lit nun's caps would you want in your toilet? During the hours of waiting for the first miracle pee at home, I had plenty of time to research why my son might not be able to urinate normally, and all too quickly found out that this could be a side effect of his epilepsy medication. I immediately reached out to the pediatrician, the urologist, to the neurologist, and of course, the specialist of all specialists, Facebook. On a Facebook epilepsy group, I asked a simple question. If anyone taking the anti-epileptic drug that had kept Nick seizure-free for 2 years had ever had this problem. I was deluged by a flood of affirmative responses and some horror stories. So many that I deleted the question and retreated from Facebook altogether, like a brave snapping turtle who all of a sudden runs into an alligator. That's why Don't Worry, Mommy was not on the menu of options as I stood in the bathroom holding an offensively immaculate nun's cap. I've learned that trying to talk our way past institutional rules is actually the nuclear option. I could have a special needs parent crying meltdown, that was an option, or I could angrily stalk out and tell Nick or the doctor that they were making my life too difficult. We could persevere and keep trying. I've done all of these at one time or another, but there was another option. I had the illicit home pee in my purse. And although the system rejected it, I knew that it was our only hope. This decision was not without risk. As I poured the home pee into their sterile cup and put it in the little cupboard, I thought that Nick was just as likely to announce to the doctor, "I couldn't pee into that plastic thing. I do not pee into things like that, but it's okay because my mom brought pee from home. She said not to tell you, but I can't do that." Nick may very well be an angel in pimpled disguise, and he not only lacks a screen, but seems to find it immoral not to be fully explanatory and transparent in every situation. I decided that if he spontaneously confessed, I would take the public shaming and survive it. We could go to some other doctor's office and not pee there too. As it was, Nick forgot to tell. We got the information we came to get and left, congratulating ourselves on a job well done and exchanging declarations of affection. Although we had not really resolved anything, we were a team.
Oh, Connie, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad you had the example for us. That was very, I don't know, how do you describe it? Children's television almost, but very, very useful.
Because well, yes, I'll tell everyone that Paul told me that I needed the example because for some reason in your part of the world, you don't call this a nun's cap. And I could imagine it might be offensive to some, but that's how we call it.
Yeah, I can see clearly now why it's called what it's called. So it was a bit confusing before. Thank you so much, Connie. It's a joy, as always, for you to join us. This is the one great advantage, of course, of Zoom, is that we can have people from all over the world. We have had a lot of people from Europe and North America, and even, if you remember a few weeks back, everybody, we had a storyteller from Mumbai in India, which was delicious. Unfortunately, Australia is kind of off limits because the time difference is just too great. So that is the one great advantage of Zoom. We loved our live venues, the Black Box, as many of you will know. And one of the great things about it was that at the end of the evening, we could just have a chat, quick talk about what we've heard, or people could ask questions, or generally. We've tried to recreate that a few times now, and it's gone quite well. So anybody who wants to stay on after, we'll keep this going for maybe 20 minutes. Padraig and I will pour a beer, and once we're finished, and then we'll come back and we'll happily have a chat with anybody that wants to chat about anything. If you have any questions, just throw them into the chat function, and we'll try to recreate those lovely evenings in the Black Box where we could all have a quick chat, and even a virtual hug. We might go for that as well. Okay,